All right, you ready for this, right? You ready for anything?
Yeah.
Ready for anything? All right, let's go. Come on. All right, listen. Reason why we're running up so quick is we're getting ready to start this free webinar on how to wholesale with little to no money. Literally, this house right here is a house that I made $10,000 off of, and I didn't use any of my money. So what I want to do is I want to start this webinar and get into it, but I need you to put your name and your email and address below right now. We're getting ready to start right now. So put your name and email address below right now. We're getting ready to get started. Here we go. So John, don't stop the tape. Don't stop the tape. Keep rolling. Come in here. All right, cool. Listen, guys, now that I got your attention, I need you to put the kids away. I need you to pay attention. I need you to silence your cell phone. Matter of fact, I'm going to silence mine right now. I need you to focus, okay, for 1 hour. I only got you for an hour. I'm going to show you how we got this house under contract and made $10,000 without using our money. Man, I'm out of breath. We were running, right, John?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so listen, we're going to go ahead and get started here. But first, real quick, I want to tell you a little bit about who I am, all right? I was just like you. I was working class. I went to school. I grew up in Plainfield, New Jersey, became a police officer. I actually was in the military first and then became a police officer. Saw the real estate boom of 2008 or the crash of 2008, right? And while I was a real estate agent in 2008, all I saw were investors who were making money. The people who were making money were wholesalers and investors, even when the market was going down. And so I was like, man, I need to learn that skill. I was a real estate agent at the time, and I had to learn that skill because at the time, real estate agents weren't making any money. So I learned this skill, and now I'm here teaching it to you. But enough about me. You want to get into this course. So I got my little handy dandy cheat sheet here so I don't miss anything because I really want to make sure that you understand this stuff. All right. So first thing we're going to do, let me take off this jacket, is understand exactly what wholesaling is, okay? So wholesaling is simple, all right? Wholesaling is simple. All right, wholesaling, real estate, okay? Wholesaling is really simple, but it's not easy, okay? It's simple, but it's not easy. All we're doing, right, this is the basics of it. All we're doing is we're finding a house, right, that's ugly. Maybe it has a broken roof, okay? Then after locating that house, we need to locate the owner of that house, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to speak to the owner. This is me here, okay? This is me here. I'm going to speak with the owner, and we're going to go back and forth, right, on what we call a negotiation. We're going to negotiate a price where I educate them and say, listen, I can help you with this problem because obviously this house is ugly. You have to pay taxes on it, okay? You have to pay insurance on it. You have to worry about people breaking in and out of it like this house was, okay? And I'm going to pay you an X amount of dollars. Let's say we're going to pay them $30,000, okay? So we're paying them $30,000. And we're going to tell them, listen, we're either going to buy it ourselves or we're going to work with another investor and help them get this house, which is exactly what I did with this house, okay? We're gonna do that through this instrument called a contract, okay? Now, keep in mind, I have this house under contract for $30,000, okay? Now, I find someone else who's an investor, who's a buyer. This person has money. That's their problem. It's a pretty cool problem to have, right? They have a money problem. They need to spend money, okay? They probably bought a house before. They're in a 1031 exchange. We can talk about that later on. But they need to spend some money in a certain amount of time. So they need to find another house to invest in. All I do is say, listen, man, I got this house. It's under contract. I got it for $30,000. I'll sell you my contract or my equitable rights for $40,000. Okay? They say yes. All right? They say yes. They're happy. Okay, they pay $40,000. 30 of that thousand goes to them. The other 10,000 goes to me. The difference between here and here is my profit margin. Okay, I had a little rag around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at, but we're going to find it, and I'll erase the board so we can keep moving on. But that is essentially the whole process of wholesaling. Now, why this is so important to understand, because if you don't understand the basics of this, there's no way that you can actually implement these strategies that we're going to talk about here, okay? So really quick, what is we got done with wholesaling this, but there's a reason why I paid $30,000 for this, okay? And we'll just erase it with my hand here. But I want to talk about the most important thing, the ARV. Like this number right here is king. This ARV number is so crucial and so important that you understand this number and what it represents, because everything that we do, all the numbers that are based off of this ARV number, okay? So real quick, ARV. After repair value. Okay, so a lot of people confuse this, or a lot of people will commonly say that it's called a comp, all right, or comparable. So the house here, how is it comparable once it's fixed up? Once all this is gone, go ahead and pan real quick so that everybody can see how messed up this house is right now. Once all this is fixed up and it's looking beautiful, what I like to say is HGTV 2019 or whatever year you're watching this, that beautiful, where it looks like that. If we could find other houses in the neighborhood that have sold, okay, then this house should sell close to those prices. So after we repair this thing, what's the value of it? How much can we sell this thing for at retail, at top dollar? This number is super, super important, because everything that we do to calculate whether or not this thing is a deal or not is going to depend off of that number. So what we're going to do right here is there's ways that you can find that, some free ways through Zillow that I show you guys. But basically, all in all, what you really want to do is hop on Zillow, Realtor, Redfin. If you have the MLS, that's even better. You can do that. You can get a realtor to help you out with that. But if you're on Zillow, you can just look for the certain area, for the criteria of the home that you have, okay, for 3-bedroom, 2-bath, or whatever you want to call it. And you want to try to match it up as close as possible within 0.5 miles, okay? You don't want to go outside of that radius right there, okay? You want to keep it right within that half-mile radius, okay? So let's just say after we find these houses, and there's a specific way that I need you to do this, I need you to find at least 3 of them that have sold within the last 6 months on Zillow, okay? Within a half-mile radius, okay? So once you do that, you're going to take the average. You're going to take your square foot, okay? And you're going to divide that and by the price, okay? So basically what I need you to understand is how much is each square foot worth. So you got 1 square foot, 2 square foot, 3 square feet, right? 3 square feet. How much is each one of these worth? So let's just say we took this house right here, and let's say throughout the neighborhood, all the houses were worth $100, okay, per every square foot, right? That means each square foot of this house is worth $100, okay? Because the average, now maybe some of the houses were bigger, some of them were smaller, but when we take the average is every square foot was worth $100. And let's just say it's not, this house is bigger than this, but let's just say this house was 1,000 square feet. Then we would just take our average of $100 per square foot, we take that as 100, and we times it times 1,000, and that would equal $100,000, okay? And that's what we would put the evaluation. That would be the after repair value. Remember, this value is based off of the houses that have been fixed up in the neighborhood. Now this is super important, again, because what we want to do here is we want to make sure that we know this number, and then we got to work backwards. So let me show you what that means. So once we work backwards, we got to figure out, once we understand that ARV and we know what that is, we have to make sure that this is actual deal, okay? Because there's going to be some people, there's going to be a lot of people that want to sell their property for more than what you as a wholesaler can get it for. You can't go into this and you can't buy someone's problem. I want you to understand that. You cannot buy someone's problem. You need to be able to be into a house that you can make some money off of. And this is the whole point of why we're doing this, okay? So how do we do that? I'm going to change colors here. Let's do blue. Blue looks good, right, John? Yeah. Blue looks good on here? See how it looks good? Yeah. Okay, cool. All right, so what I need you to understand, is it a deal? So let's just say that same house, 100K, right? I'm just gonna write it all the way out, $100,000, okay? Here's the mathematical formula. I need you to write this down. So take some time, push pause if you need to, get some pen and paper. It's really simple, okay? All right, so this is our ARV. All right, here's the formula. ARV times 0.7, this is the 30% rule, minus repairs, minus my fee, equals MAO, or maximum allowable, I spell that right? Allowable, allowable offer. Yeah, there we go. Sometimes it looks different when you're writing it. Excuse my handwriting. My handwriting's horrible. Maximum allowable offer, okay? So my ARV is $100,000. So I'm going to take $100,000. We'll just put 100K, okay? And we're going to plug it in times 0.7. What's that's going to equal? That's going to equal $70,000, okay? So if you do $100,000, because my ARV is $100,000 times 0.7, it's going to equal $70,000. Now we have to subtract my repair costs, okay? Which we're going to talk about that here shortly, right after this actually. So let's just say my repair cost for this particular property is going to be $40,000. So I got to subtract $40,000 from 70, which is going to equal 30K, right? $30,000, that's right? Yep, $30,000. So after I do that, I need to subtract my fee. So let's say I want to make $10,000, as in the case of this house. $10,000. So 30 from 10, that means my MAO equals $20,000. What does that mean? $20,000. If I want to make $10,000, $20,000 is what I need to get this property under contract for, because I'm going to get it under contract. Remember that first thing. This is why it's so important. Remember we had the contract here. That first video I showed, or that first section of the video, that I need to get it under $20,000, because when I get it under $20,000, I can tack $10,000 on. They can go ahead and spend $40,000 in repair, be all in it for $70,000, and then sell it for $100,000. And so the profit margin is 30%. This is easy math because this is $100,000, and they're all in it for $70,000. So the difference between this $100,000 and $70,000 is $30,000, but that profit belongs to the flipper, the person who's doing all this work, okay? My profit lies right here, okay, as a wholesaler. And so that's what we're going to teach you how to do. But we need to know this important part. It's repairs, right? It's super important to know repairs. Now, in our course, we're teaching you multiple ways, multiple strategies of learning how to do repairs and how to estimate them. But some of the stuff, you just got to know some basic stuff, all right? So this is OSB board, right? You got that? You see this here? Okay, cool. So this is OSB board. OSB board is cheaper than plywood. Why should you know that as a wholesaler? Well, you're not actually doing the work, but it's good for you to know that this is oriented strand board. It's just basically a whole bunch of pieces of wood kind of pushed together, smashed together with some glue. This is less expensive than if I was to buy regular plywood. Let's look over here. So something like this. You focus in on that right there? You see that? Okay, so right there, it's good to know my framing needs to be 18 on center. So from the center of this board right here to the center of this one needs to be 18, okay? Okay? So it's good to know that, or if I see that and that's not up to code, then I know they're going to have to spend money on that, okay? This right here, this is PEX plumbing, okay? So this is what people are using now for plumbing, right? This is a lot more cost effective. It's also easier for the plumbers to put in, okay? So these are things that we need to know. Let me show you somewhere else upstairs, okay? Now, I know we're just spitting a lot of stuff out here, but it's important for you to understand this stuff because, why? If I'm trying to do these repairs in my head, if I'm trying to understand how much it's going to cost for a repair, I need to know the general cost for my neighborhood. Here in the Atlanta area, it's different than somewhere in LA, right? So I know if I need to do a bathroom, right? If I need to gut a bathroom and replumb it, it's going to cost me about $3,500 in this particular market. For a medium to small size bathroom, $3,500. So if you have 2 bathrooms, that's going to cost you $7,000 in repairs. I want to know about flooring. How much is it going to cost for my flooring? Here's a good example. All right, John, come here. Take a look at this. Yeah. All right, so listen. So you see this right here. This is called shiplap decking. This is the inside portion, the people that most people don't see of your roof, okay? So you can see this is shiplap. They actually used to use this on boats, and when they built boats, and that's where it came from. But if we have damage like this, right? If this is damage, or we have water damage that's really rotted out, this isn't that bad. But if this really rotted out, you're gonna have to replace that. It's gonna cost more money, which means your repair cost is gonna be bigger, which also means you need to get that price for your maximum allowable offer lower so you can create profit margin for yourself and for your flipper. Here is a huge one, huge one. We talk about the big five in repairs in our course, which are roof, we have electrical, we have plumbing, we have foundation, and we have HVAC. One of them here, right here, is electrical, okay? So we got this plugged up, but this right here, this wiring right here, this is called knob and tubing wiring. This is not up to code, which means this house, they're gonna have to take all of this stuff out, all the knob tubing wire out. Look at this. This is what it does here. You see that right there? See how it's frayed there? That's a fire hazard right there, okay? So I need you guys to understand this stuff. There's so much. I can't teach you it all in an hour-long course, and I really want to be respectful of your time. But these are just some of the things that you have to understand as a wholesaler, and you have to know in order to make a good decision on whether or not where I need to make this put this price at, so that we can get this for a good offer. Let me unplug this thing so we don't start a fire. All right, let's come back downstairs. All right, so we've gone on over a lot of stuff already, man. John, you still with me, right?
I'm still.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get back into this, get back on track. Okay, watch out for that step right there. That step is a little loose. Got John going through like a little death trap in here. All right, so now you kind of got a glimpse of why it's important as a wholesaler. We're not just out there spitting numbers, okay? There is a reason why we need to know how much repairs are. We're kind of like a jack of all trades. We really have to be knowledgeable about this. You really need to dig deep and dive into this and really make this become your life, because this will enable you to make a ton of money, change your generational tree, change your family, just give you tons and tons of value if you take this serious. So understanding the repairs is huge. Right now we have some roofers that are outside, and they're gonna get on the roof here in a little bit and start taking off the shingles, okay? It's important for us to know how much does that cost. In roofing, just to give you an example, in roofing, they go by the square. It's not by the square foot, it's by the square. So if you know that and you say, how much do you charge per square? You just sound like a pro, okay? If you ask them for square footage, they're gonna know that you're a rookie. So when it comes to roofing, it's how much per square. But those are just some of the things that we're gonna talk about here, or we're gonna teach you, okay? So I need to know how to calculate my fee. So here, if I wanted to make $10,000, in this particular case, in this particular example, I need to get them down to 20 because I'm smart enough and I'm experienced enough and I've taken this course, right? And I know that this repair is going to cost 40. Actually, this repair in this particular house is going to cost way more than 40. But let's just say for this example, the repair is going to cost 40. And so I want to make $10,000. So how do you calculate your fee, okay? The fee is important because that's what goes into my pocket. But let's just say, hypothetically, let's just say that you only wanted to make $5,000, right? Well, that means if you're a person who owns this house before you get under contract, let's say they don't want to take 20, but they're willing to take 25. Are you willing to make $5,000? Not putting any money into this property? The only thing you did was find it, okay? We're gonna talk about how you find it next, but the only thing that you did is find it. So sometimes you might want to decrease your fee just a little bit, all right, so that you can get the deal done and make some money, okay? So that's how we're gonna find out our fee. Our fee is basically gonna be calculated based off of all this ARV. Remember, it's starting with the ARV. This represents that 30% profit margin. We gotta subtract our repairs, and then we can decide, okay, what do we want to be at for our fee? And when we finally negotiate, maybe this person says, listen, all I need is $10,000. You give me $10,000 in 7 to 14 days, you can have this house. Well, guess what? Now I have a $20,000 fee. You see how that works? It's all based off of, at the end of the day, what is this person going to take and how much the house is worth once it's fixed up, okay? All right, so boom. One way to find some of the hot areas. Now, how did I find this house? All right, how did I find this house? There's so many ways to find properties. I can't teach you them all in this small 1-hour course, but here's real easy way that's free that you can do right now. I want you to do this right now. Actually, pull out your phone. Okay, pull out your phone and you're gonna go hop on Zillow. okay? I'm gonna do it here right now. You're gonna hop on Zillow, and if you have an iPhone, it pretty much all looks the same, okay? On the top here, can you see that?
Yep.
Go ahead and zoom. Let me make sure I'm clear. You good?
All good.
All right, cool. So on the top here, we have some menus, okay? So right here, what I want you to do is I really just want you to click off of this. The only thing I want is that yellow dot, which is recently sold, okay? So you're gonna hit done. On my price, I want that all the way as low as possible and as high as possible. Let me know if it's out of focus. We're good?
Yeah.
Okay, because I want them to get this, okay? This is important, all right? All right, here, I just want houses. Now, maybe you're in New York City or something like that where condos are more prevalent, then obviously you pick that, or townhouses. But right now, I just want houses, okay? Done, okay? And then we're gonna go to more. And we're gonna go to 12 months, okay? So but basically what I'm telling is that I want them to find houses. I'm sorry, we're gonna click that to any and any. I'll take all of these off, all right? Only thing you want is recently sold. You don't care about bedrooms, baths. You don't care about the HOA. The home type is house, all right? Square feet, I want minimum to maximum. I can't see here, let me go down. Minimum to maximum. Done, all right? And now 12 months, okay? So now I want them to find these houses that have sold within the last 12 months. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna change one thing, okay? One thing. Take this, bring it all the way down to 50,000 and hit done, okay? I'm gonna zoom out. I have this on an area I was actually looking for. This is real live, people. So I was looking for some property for an investor in Stockbridge, okay? Now, what I know is that $50,000, a bank will not finance on that. 99% of the banks won't give you money on a mortgage for $50,000, okay? So when I look on here, let me know we're back in here.
Back in.
See how there's little clumps there, right? There's a group there, right? There's a group here. That means there are houses that are being sold for less than $50,000. I need to find houses in this market that are less than $50,000. So all I'm going to do is zoom in and I'm going to click on one of these houses, like this one sold for $18,000, $18,500. You can see that there, right? Mm-hmm. You got that?
Got it.
That's an address. That house is already sold, so I can't get that one. But what I do know is that there are people in that neighborhood that are selling their houses at that price. Why do I know that? Because I can see it listed right here. So all I want you to do is find those areas and drive up and down the streets looking for more houses, because people who sell their houses in that group for less than 50,000, there's someone else in that group that probably would do the exact same thing. That's an easy way that you can find groupings of houses that will be sold for a cheap enough price where you can make some money. And it's not all about you making the money, it's also about you helping them, because a lot of these people, I'll guarantee you, that person who sold their house for $18,500 had a problem, okay? Their problem was that they were not going to be able to do something with that house. They were not going to be able to pay the taxes or pay the insurance, or they had people breaking in on the house. There was no way that they could actually do that. So we help them, or that person, once we get that house, we're gonna help them fix their problem. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next thing. The very next thing that we have here is we're gonna locate the owner, okay? So we have to locate this owner. So locating the owner is actually pretty simple. Depending on your state, you're gonna go through different ways of doing that. But when you locate your owner, what I need you to do is basically go into your county's tax assessor, okay? So you can go to the county's tax assessor. We're gonna change the colors again one more time to red. We good on the red?
Right.
All right, you like the red, cool. John said he likes the red. I think I spelled that right, I think there's two S's. County Tax Assessor's Office. Why? Because they're the people that are gonna come in here and they're going to assess the property, okay? And they're gonna know who is paying the taxes. So once they assess the property, they're gonna say, hey, you gotta pay $1,000 a year in taxes. And then when someone pays on those taxes, their name and address are there and listed. So their name and address are there. And so what I get with that, I can get their name and I can get their address. Now here's what I know. You just found a property that is vacant. They don't live in that house. Like this house right here, no one's living in this house. But here's what I know, that if their name and address is different than the house that I'm standing in or the house that I'm looking for, well, guess what? That's where they live at. 9 times out of 10, that's where you're going to find the owner of the property. That abandoned property that you just were looking for, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find them there, okay, at this address. So all you're going to do is simply either one or two things. If you don't have the money to skip trace, I'm going to give you 2 options. The first one is just the straight up hardcore guerrilla, right? Guerrilla, just going up there and knock on the door, right? And you're going to speak to them face to face, man to man, woman to woman, however it may be, and talk to them. Say, hey, my name is Tommy. I'm a real estate investor in the neighborhood. I noticed your property on 123 Main Street. Man, I love that property. And we're looking to buy 1 or 2 properties this month in that area. And I'd just like to see if you had a moment to chat about it. And you're going to ask them, just say just like that. If they say yes, they say, you get into that conversation. Hey, that property on 123 Main Street, what are you looking to do with that? And you just shut up and let them talk. Let them tell you all the problems and how this was a problem house for them. People have broken into it and they've tried to fix it in the past, but they've always lost money and blah, 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 right? And you're just listening for problems. If they say no, and you ask them, well, what are you planning to do with it? Are you gonna fix it and flip it, or are you gonna hold it on, hold on to it for a while? What are you looking to do with it? You always want to kind of maintain the conversation, because they might say, hey, I'm not looking to do anything with that one, but I have 7 other properties I'm looking to get rid of. Okay? You always want to ask questions. Don't be pushy, okay? But you want to ask those questions. But this is a really good tool using the tax assessor's office. Now, some of you it's going to be with the county. I know where I'm from in Jersey, it's with the city. That's how I find them. But here in the Georgia area and most other places, it's through the county website. So just Google Clayton County Tax Assessor, Fulton County Tax Assessor, Union County Tax Assessor, whatever your county is in or wherever county that house is in, look it up and they'll have the name and address of the individual who owns it. Once you find that, easy. And once you find that, we're gonna have to get them under contract. And that right there is the 30-minute time frame. That's the 30-minute time frame. So we're almost done with this. So I'm glad you guys are sticking in here, but I told you I'm not gonna keep you any more than an hour. So listen, I need you after that, and we need to get them under contract. So one of the things that we're going to do is in our course, we have contracts that work in 50 states. Okay. But one of the main things that I need you to understand is that your contract has to have some specific wording on it. All right. Here's the biggest thing that I see with people who don't understand this. I'm going to switch this to green. You know why? You know why I'm switching this to green?
Last color?
Well, last color, but this is where we're talking about that money, getting them under contracts, okay? Green is good on here?
Oh, yeah.
All right, cool. So green is money. So in this contract section, right? In this contract section, okay, what I need you to understand is that you have to have the words buyer and or assigning. So buyer, and they'll put a slash, and or assign, hope I don't run out of room, signee, okay? This allows me to assign the contract to that individual, okay? If I only have this, that means I'm responsible for buying it. If I only have this, then I cannot assign my contract to someone else. Okay, I need to have this into my contract in order to get through it. All right, we actually got people walking around here because this is actual real site, but we need to have this assignee into our contract. If not, man, we cannot assign this to anyone. This means I have to buy this property. You as a wholesaler, unless you're prepared to buy the property, you don't want to be stuck in this situation. This little thing can cost you and put you into situations that cause a lot of problems. Just understanding that you need to have this is key. There's some other things that are super, super important in the contract. Again, I'm trying to get through as much as possible and be respectful of your time as much as possible. So I really want to kind of keep it into this 1 hour time frame. But for right now, understanding this one thing, if you see a contract from right now, if you don't see this right here, buyer and or assignee, you automatically know it's not a good contract for you to use as a wholesaler. Now, the next thing, so this is contracts. This is dealing with the seller. Okay? Now, for the buyer, which is your person who's going to actually buy the house from you, the contract, excuse me, from you, because you don't own the house, you just control it, all right? The buyer, you're gonna do an assignee contract. So what that means is you are going to assign them that contract. Remember that first video we had, where it was or that first section of the video where we had the little contract in the middle? When I assign them that contract, when I give them that contract, that's how I'm giving them my equitable rights to it. Because before that, excuse me, before that, I have that contract. Remember that example we had down here, $30,000? Excuse me. We had that example for $30,000. Well, now we're assigning that contract, we're assigning that right to them for a total of $40,000. And the difference between that $30,000 and $40,000 is my profit. In my contracts, the buyers that I have, man, I don't know what's going on. I got something in my throat. The buyers that I have, all right, they know how much money I'm making. They know that I'm gonna make $10,000, but they're happily pay that extra $10,000 or sometimes $20,000 because they know that I can provide them properties again and again and again and again. And they don't have to spend the time and money and energy looking for the properties. They can just rely on me to give them properties over and over and over again. So they have no issues whatsoever paying me my assignment fee, okay? So key things that I want you to understand about the assignment contract, okay? So key things I need you to understand about the assignment contract is that I like to tell them how much I'm making. So I'm going to tell what I'm making. Why is that? Why is that? Because I don't want to get to the closing table and they find out that, oh, you're making $10,000 and they say, oh, I don't want to deal with you. I don't want you to make that amount of money. If you find buyers like that, you just need to get rid of them. You need to screen them the way I show you guys how to screen them in the course. You need to screen them ahead of time so you don't even deal with them on a regular basis, okay? Number two, we need to have EMD, which is an earnest money deposit. Basically what I'm telling this buyer is that, listen, you're gonna have to put $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 down as an earnest money deposit, saying that I'm going to stop marketing this property. Because right now I control it with the contract. I'm gonna stop showing it to other buyers all over in my buyers list because you're saying that you're going to buy it. And then you said you're gonna do it within a certain time frame, normally between 7 to 14 days. But in order for me to do that, I need you to put some skin in the game. I need you to put some money up, okay? You put some money up and then I will stop marketing it. Once you do that, okay, once they do that, the only way they get that money back is if the house cannot give them a clear and equitable title, meaning that we can't legally give them the title free and clear so they can, fix it up and sell it. Besides that, that money is gone. That money, they've spent that money. And so that's how you can kind of weed out whether or not someone's playing with you or whether or not they're serious about buying this particular property. All right, so we've gone over that. We've gone over the signed contract. Now, here's the fun part. Here's the time where we're going to close the deal, okay? This is simple. I need you guys to reach out to me, reach out to other people in your network, reach out to people who are wholesaling, wherever you are, because people are going to see this from the East Coast to the West Coast, North and South, right? Wherever you're at, all you're going to do is reach out to people and find who are the best attorneys or title companies. So we have closing attorneys and title companies. It's really, really important to understand which state you're in and which state recognizes the other. So I know here in Georgia, we have to use closing attorneys, lawyers, okay? In Florida, they can use title companies. These are not lawyers. Some of them still are, but they're title companies. Now, it's important to understand that because you don't want to be in Florida looking for closing attorneys because you're going to spend more money. And you don't want to be in Georgia looking for a title company because you can't do it legally. So you have to make sure that you know what state you're in and what rules you need to follow in that state. But once you understand that, all you have to do is reach out to people. We're going to also actually eventually start creating a database to let you know what are the best, because there's not all closing attorneys and title companies are created equal. So we're going to find out. It's really simple. This is the way this works. I'm going to do this little quick drawing. How much time we got, John? We're pretty good? Pretty good on time?
Good, yeah.
Pretty good on time. All right. Like I said, I want to get you guys in and out here. I don't want to take up all of your time. We've gone over a lot of material. There's so much. There's so many different techniques to use. So many different ways to find more properties, all right? That one that I showed you guys with Zillow is one I use on pretty much every day, okay? So here, I'm gonna draw this out real quick. That's probably not the best drawing, but well, that's a, we'll add that there. This is a little closing table, okay? So this is the closing table. This is where everybody wants to be at, okay? So on one side, we have our seller, okay? So this is our seller. This is the person that's selling us the house, okay? On one side, we have our buyer. This is the way this works. I get a lot of questions on how does this work? One of two ways it's gonna happen. Sometimes the seller will come in first and the buyer won't even be here. What the buyer will do, the buyer will have wired the money to an escrow account. You good, John?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
A little dusty.
I know, it's dusty in here. So they're gonna wire the money to an escrow account. This escrow account is controlled by the attorney or the title company. Okay? So this is a secure account. So at this point, the money has left the buyer's account and is sitting in a holding pattern right now, waiting to be sent to the seller. The seller, in order to receive this money, has to sign the contract. Sign over deed. Okay? Once that happens, the money is released from the escrow account and then sent via check or wire, depending on how they like it. Normally it's a check, because they like to have that check in their hand, to the seller. So sometimes the buyer won't be here. The buyer will send the money via wire transfer. The buyer might be in another state or another country for that matter. They'll wire that money into the escrow account. All the documents will be signed beforehand with the buyer. And then once the seller signs over the deed with their closing attorney will then write them a check and then they will send that money to them. Now, if they're local, both the seller and the buyer might show up at the exact same time. Now, if they show up at the exact same time, you'll be there, or you should be there, to help mediate. Because up until this point, the seller has just probably seen you. They probably haven't seen the buyer. Or if they have, they just real briefly. But you, okay, the wholesaler, puts you in the middle, because you're really the most important piece, okay? You, the wholesaler, you are there to just kind of keep things smooth. Talk with the seller, make them feel welcome, introduce them to the buyer, make sure that everybody is cool with everything, make sure that they act excited, okay? This is called managing the deal, okay? We're gonna manage this process because we don't want any tension happening between the buyer and the seller. I've had times where the buyer and seller are getting into arguments. You don't want that to happen because you're so close to getting paid. You don't want that to happen and you lose that deal. So all you're really there to do is just kind of be a mediator, just to kind of be there, be present, be the face that they know and recognize, and put them together and act very nonchalant, very easygoing, and we get the deal done. Now, this is a lot of information. This is a lot of stuff, and I'm hoping I'm kind of being close to the time I'm checking here. We're right there close to that time point. But listen, this information is a skill that can be learned. We're teaching this skill to you, trying to condense a whole bunch of things in a short amount of time. I hope I was clear enough for you to at least start this process. I gave you one very, very good way of finding groupings of houses where you can get into and get in and find other houses to wholesale, okay? We talked about how to find those. We talked about also how to find the ARV and how important that was. I gave you the mathematical equation on how to figure out the maximum allowable offer. But all this stuff, finding sellers, finding the buyers, the ARV, writing the contract, negotiating, the scripts, all those things that we kind of went over, all that stuff is in a course. And guess what? The course is super, super inexpensive. I mean, this course that I've put together over years of trying to do this and thousands of dollars learning from other people, not to mention the amount of time that I've spent. I put this course together for you because I want you to have this information. if this information was given to me when I was in high school, right? If this information was given to me when I was in college, if this information was given to me after I got out of college, man, I'd be a multimillionaire already. The reason why I didn't get this information is because at that point, I didn't have the funds to purchase some of the courses. Some of the courses I've seen were $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. Some of these high-level guys that are doing really well, I'm not knocking them. They're millionaires, some of them billionaires, right? Their courses are super expensive, and I just couldn't afford them at the time. I had to kind of get in where I fit in. I had to kind of learn this process as I went. But one of the biggest things that helped me is that I found a mentor that could teach me and just kind of navigate and kind of say, don't go here, go there. They kind of made sure that I didn't fall into some of the cracks and the potholes that they fell in, right? And when I did that, man, my business went through the roof. And I want to show you guys this. But here's the real thing. I know you guys are wondering, how much is the course? Super simple. The course is only, listen, stop, just relax, take a deep breath. We're gonna go ahead and get through this thing, but I really wanna show you exactly what you're gonna be receiving. This course is designed to get you to the closing table. So in order for me to do that, let me show you exactly what you're gonna be getting. First of all, you're gonna get 25 video modules. So these 25 video modules are so important because they are going to walk you through how to get to the closing table, how to get sales, how to find sellers, how to find buyers, everything you need. And then we also have homework. Now, this is not like homework when you're in school, right? This is homework that you're actually going to want to do, because this homework right here, this homework is designed for you to follow through with the steps. If you don't do the homework, then you can't win. But the good thing is that you know that if you do the homework, after you watch the videos and you do the homework, it walks you to the closing table. You're literally going to have to get into people's homes. You're literally going to have to get with your closing attorneys and your contractors if you do the homework. But I understand this is a new skill. These are the problems that wholesalers typically have, is that they learn something, they watch it on YouTube University, and then they don't know how to apply it. They have questions. So we address that. We're doing this 2 times a week. Not every other week, but twice. On Sunday and Wednesday, we're going to do coaching calls, all right, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all right? So 7 p.m. on a Sunday and a Wednesday, you get to hop on a live Zoom call with me and a whole bunch of other wholesalers across the country that can help answer your questions. We're not just talking about wholesaling. We're talking about building a real estate business, how to be a businessman and a businesswoman. We take that out on Sunday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. If you have questions, that is the time that you can ask your questions. Man, all this stuff right here would be enough. All this stuff would be enough. But we also have about a year's worth of videos. Like, these videos are all the past coaching calls that you missed. Not because it's your fault, it's just because you're just getting exposed to this knowledge. So we have over 100 plus videos, bonus videos, all right? Bonus videos that can help you with any other question that you might have. If you want to learn how to build business credit, if you want to learn how to do Airbnbs, if you want to learn how to do 1031 exchanges and what that means, all that stuff is built into the course. Now listen, I know this is a lot of stuff. You have a big decision here to make, and that decision really is just putting your information down here below. Go ahead and fill out the simple survey, and then setting up your strategy session. You have about a 15 to 20 minute strategy session that we want to build the strategy around your situation. So go ahead, do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, and fill out that information below. Talk to you soon.
Hey, Tommy. I just wanted to thank you for the push that you gave me through this business, for holding my hand through it all. When I just did not have any faith in wholesaling and did not trust it at all, you pushed me right on through. And the whole E2E family, our conference calls, just gave me the confidence to be successful in this business. I started not even 3 or 4 months ago and already closed on 3 deals, making $27,000, something that somebody probably wouldn't make in a year. And I made it in 3 or 4 months. I definitely put my trust into wholesaling, and I'm so glad that you introduced me to this business. Thank you.
Hey Tommy, what's going on? Listen, I just want to give you a quick shout out, brother. Thank you for your programming. The twice a week calls we got going on not only made me a better wholesaler, but also a smarter investor. This week alone, I currently have 3 under contract, and I've already did over $40,000 in assignment and fees. And a lot of that is thanks to you and your programming, man. The E2E wholesaling is amazing. If you're not in it, and you're looking for somebody to be able to kind of mentor you in a way, not like a guru, but a guru here in Atlanta, Georgia, or anywhere really. I mean, we got people all over that's in the group that's still able to benefit, and I just gotta give you a shout out when a shout out is necessary. He's one of the real ones, guys. So pay attention and link up with the best ones that's trying to make you win.
Hey guys, I would like to thank Tommy Hall for coming out with this E2E course. The course is broke down so simple. It's for the most inexperienced real estate investors. It goes through module, teaching you how to go to Home Depot just to look for stuff, seeing how much roofs cost, how much floors cost. It also goes through all the different assignment contracts. I've learned so much about this course. I've actually been able to do 2 deals off this course, which is simply amazing, something that I thought I would never do. I would also like to say the family that we have come together every Sunday and Wednesday night. We meet up, mastermind, we talk about things, we get deals done, we bring new things to the table. The course is totally awesome. If you guys would love to, I would love for you guys to join our family, join the E2E family, just to come to experience and learn more about real estate.
What's going on, America? My name is Bill Harris. I represent one half of Harris Acosta Martinez LLC. I represent the Garden State, which is Tommy Home State, New Jersey. What's good, Jersey? I've been a member of Tommy's E2E wholesaling program since November of 2018, so a little over three and a half months. I decided to join the program because I definitely needed some guidance and direction in this real estate game. And in doing so, since being with Tommy's program, I see that Tommy's really created an ecosystem of just real estate investors. And inside this ecosystem, what I'm getting from it, or what it's providing us with education, it's providing us with inspiration, and more importantly for me, it's providing me with the identification of my why. And with that why, it's leading now to my financial independence, or my financial emancipation from what I consider the plantation of W-2s. So I would definitely suggest to anybody that's looking to get into real estate investing, that have had experience with investing, to come a part of the program. It's a great program. Tommy's definitely committed to us, and every Wednesday and Sunday, man, at 7 o'clock, man, he's dropping jewels, bringing on people that's helping to shape, change our mindsets, more importantly, and then as a result of that, it's changing our lives. So shout out to Tommy. Thank you for everything you're doing, and let's keep building. Peace.
How y'all doing? I just want to give a quick shout out to Tommy Holt and his E2E to wholesaling course. I've been in the course now for about 5 months, and through his course I was able to wholesale the deal that's the house behind me. So I highly recommend this course. In his course, he has all the modules laid out, everything you need, all the instructions you need. He even gives you all the contracts. Plus, every week you're on calls with him twice a week to ask any question that you may have, and he will be there to support you every step of the way. So I definitely highly recommend his course, E2E to wholesaling. So I'll see you in the course.
Yeah, man, I want to thank my brother Thomas for helping me out 6 months ago and just changing my life on wholesaling, man. I called my man about his book, then we just got into a whole nother conversation about wholesaling and doing real estate. So make this short and sweet. About 6 months later, I done closed 2 deals, $18,000. Got 3 other deals this month, November, totaling almost 40 grand. And I'm just moving, man, in a positive fashion. This is real, you know. I advise you to take the class, take the course. It's going to help your life. Not just, don't look at it as a course. Look at it, you bettering yourself and helping yourself get ahead in life and having a piece of this American pie that you can own by doing wholesaling in real estate. All right?